In the 14th century, the Black Death, which appeared in three forms, bubonic, septicemic, and pneumonic, ravaged Europe and wiped out nearly 60% of the continent. Today, that would be the equivalent of almost 450 million deaths. And now, we're taking you back to that era. How could you have survived the Black Death? But first, a tiny favor. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications, and leave a nice, memorable comment. Put on your mask, slip on your gloves, chug some vitamin C, because we're heading straight into the days of the plague. Humanity has advanced in science and technology, yes, but viruses and our basic biology haven't changed much. Just like in 2019, the best way to avoid the plague was to stay away from crowds, especially pneumonic plague, which spread through the air. Being around coughing, sneezing people was basically asking to get infected. Bubonic plague was sneakier. It spread through flea bites, and those fleas usually rode around on infected rats. Strangely enough, people often didn't even realize hundreds of super fleas were crawling on them. These tiny creatures would abandon dying bodies and jump onto healthier ones, sometimes up to 2 meters away. Keeping that distance could literally save your life. Honestly, staying home and reading the Bible wasn't a bad idea at all. And if possible, keeping your doors and windows shut and not going out at all was even better. Italy's sea-connected geography unfortunately made it easy for the plague to enter the country. But Milan was a different story. The city's ruthless ruler ordered that any house showing signs of infection be completely sealed shut. Everyone inside, sick or not, was forbidden to leave. The method was shockingly harsh, but it worked. Milan had the lowest death rate of any major Italian city, just 15%. The price, however, was paid with innocent lives and a society brought almost to a standstill. A writer from Florence once described the massive mass graves of the time as a lasagna made of layers of earth and human bodies. Horrifying, isn't it? People were so overwhelmed with fear that they sometimes left their loved ones in the streets because they were too terrified to bury them. A group called the Becchini, meaning corpse collectors, emerged. At first, they merely collected bodies, but soon some of them turned to looting and robbery. No one dared interfere because no one wanted to get close to infected corpses. One of the people who survived this chaos was Pope Clement VI. In the city where he lived, a third of the cardinals died, making his survival almost miraculous. Doctors suggested a simple but effective method. Surround himself with a circle of fire. Yes, literally a ring of flames with the Pope sitting in the center. Rats and fleas wouldn't even approach the heat barrier. The Pope didn't die, he just sweated a lot. Surprisingly enough, the protective powers of fire actually worked. The Great Fire of 1666, which reduced London to ashes, also unintentionally helped fight the plague. The massive blaze nearly wiped out the city's rat and flea population. The doctor outfits of the time were a whole topic themselves. Long black robes, hats, and those famous beaked masks. They look terrifying today, but the logic was simple. They believed the plague spread through foul smells, so they stuffed the beak with things like rose petals and mint. The leather garments also kept fleas from biting. Either the fleas ran away, or they got scared by the outfit. Either way, it worked. To survive the Black Death, there was another group you definitely needed to avoid: the self-flagellating flagellants. Believing God was punishing humanity for its sins, these people whipped themselves in public squares and marched from one end of cities to the other, spreading the disease even faster. Staying away from them was both spiritually and physically wise. Some cities imposed stricter measures. City entrances and exits were closed. Anyone showing signs of fever was turned away, and some ports refused to allow ships to dock. Realizing that the plague first entered Europe through ships arriving from the east, coastal cities began isolating risky travelers for 30 days, then 40. Since 40 in Italian is quaranta, the word quarantine was born. Still, these precautions weren't enough to stop thousands of deaths. Some people, however, survived despite being infected. It wasn't because of miracle cures or absurd practices like the chicken treatment, which was popular at the time. They simply had stronger immune systems and were healthier overall. Just like today, people with poor nutrition, weak immunity, or bad health in general died more quickly. The bacteria also loved warm weather. Death rates rose in spring and summer and nearly disappeared in winter. It was one of the rare times people genuinely celebrated the arrival of cold weather. There was also the genetic factor. Certain gene clusters found, especially in Romani communities, provided a natural defense against the bacteria. Not complete immunity, but a significant advantage that increased their chances of survival. Medieval people didn't understand disease the way we do today. They believed it spread through bad odors or that God sent the plague out of anger. They had no research, no medicine, no scientific method. They did the best they could with the knowledge they had. But some people simply said, whatever happens, happens, and chose to enjoy life instead. According to Boccaccio, many Florentines, faced with death lurking around every corner, turned to entertainment, drinking, music, and dancing, choosing to live even when survival was uncertain. Perhaps this was their version of, screw it. Today, the plague still exists, but it's easily treated with antibiotics. So thankfully, we don't have to consider moving to Norway to escape it. But the real question is, would you survive the era of the Black Death? Don't forget to let us know in the comments. Oh, and check out our other videos as well.